Hi everyone, I am Grace with ZTV Live. We are here again with Act for Alexandria's Spring to Action 2021. Today we welcome Giselle Pelaez for the Center of Alexandria's Children.
Hi, good afternoon, Grace.
Hi Giselle, how are you?
Doing okay.
Good, thank you so much for being here. So, we're just gonna dive right in with some questions. The first question that I wanna know is what challenges your nonprofit faced in 2020? Because obviously everyone faced challenges in 2020, but we do know that there are some challenges specific to nonprofits. So, just lead us through what happened for you guys last year.
Yeah, absolutely. The Center for Alexandria's Children provides three programs that serve Alexandria's most vulnerable families. Through our Child Advocacy Center program, we facilitate the work of the Alexandria Multidisciplinary Team dedicated to responding to child abuse victims for the city. And our Learn and Play Group program promotes the well-being of families by creating strong and meaningful connections between parents and their kids and the community. And through community education and trainings, we share practical tools and resources to bring the community together to help end child abuse. This last year was an incredibly trying time for families, parents, with kids out of school and daycare and workplaces closed and teachers and caregivers absent. I mean, our kids saw their everyday routines upended, family members confined in close quarters. In the city of Alexandria, we actually saw our child abuse report numbers go down. However, we also saw that the cases that did make it to our attention were more serious and more complicated. They included serious injuries and challenging court proceedings. The kids and the teens who were brave enough to actually make an outcry and walk through our doors were all reporting incredibly high levels of stress, anxiety, depression. Many of them articulated a profound sense of loneliness and helplessness. Our Learn and Play Group programs had to go virtual out of necessity. I mean, it wasn't a perfect substitute, but the parents and kids who we were able to engage with actually enjoyed having access to the online groups and recorded videos of our facilitators conducting circle time and story time and learning together time and getting bi-weekly emails and some kind of contact with the outside world. Quite a few of them shared repeatedly over the last year that they were struggling with discipline and how to discipline their kids, a lack of things to do, repeating that their children were so bored at home, and so many other parenting challenges.
Yeah, I can completely imagine that loneliness would be a huge issue. I mean, with everyone having to quarantine, self quarantine, and just shelter in place in general, I'd imagine that losing that lack of physical connection with people, dramatic shift, and it's hard to cope for a lot of people. So,
Right.
how did Spring to Action help you guys address some of these challenges last year?
We were actually so blown away by the generosity of our community last year. April 2020 ended up being our most successful Spring to Action campaign to date, and we participated for the last 11 years. So in those 13 days, right before April 15th, because of early giving, 142 donors gave over $46,000 to support Alexandria's kids. And because of those donations, we were able to maintain full staffing. We did not waver in executing any of our program goals. And our doors remained opened during the entire pandemic. And we've been able to ensure that we'll continue to be a safe place for all of Alexandria's children.
That's so exciting. That's a huge number. That's amazing to hear.
It
So,
was an incredible campaign.
that's amazing. I love to see that. So, knowing that that's what happened last year, what do you want your community and your donors to know moving forward, and how can they help you in 2021?
That's a great question because I feel like we've learned so many lessons in this past year. And I also feel like we've demonstrated some success in meeting the challenge of the pandemic and quarantine. We were committed to communication with all of our registered families. We offered virtual services as needed. And we acknowledged that like high risk factors for abuse are going to continue to be a concern for many of our participant families. Connecting these families to critical information and resources is absolutely imperative. Right now, because of the way in which we were able to maintain contact with our families, we're currently perceived as a source of critical information and access to fundamental needs: diapers, wipes, food and groceries, cloth face masks, cleaning supplies. All of those things we were able to connect our families to during the pandemic through partnerships with a number of other nonprofits in the city, like Volunteer Alexandria and Community Lodgings and the city's grocery gift card program. It's our goal in 2021 to continue to connect with our families and distribute necessary supplies, activity kits, clothing, and other emergency needs. We've already provided them with information about last year about the census, this year about COVID-19 testing opportunities, vaccine information, vaccine clinics, flu shot clinics, and voting. The bottom line is trusted, consistent support and connection, particularly by individuals who reflect the community that they're serving, whether it be via language or race and ethnicity, remains a critical need. And at the Center for Alexandria's Children, we provide that.
Yeah, absolutely. The information coming together, those are both very critical. If you're armed with information, it means you can tackle challenges more easily that might come your way. So, what are your goals for 2021 in both Spring to Action and in the operations of your nonprofit for the whole year?
So, unfortunately, we're seeing our child abuse reporting numbers go back up to pre-pandemic levels. We've seen that happening over the last 2-3 months. And we know that the kids in our community have really suffered from a lack of access to social opportunities and school. To some extent, I think our goals are going to be about picking up the pieces and ensuring that these kids have access and that their parents feel supported and that there are paths to health and wellness and opportunities for these kids who've lost so much over the last year.
Those are some beautiful goals, and I am excited for Spring to Action to help you guys. I'm excited to see those goals fulfilled. So, last question, and it is a repeat after me and fill in the blank. I spring to action because.
I spring to action because working in the city of Alexandria has taught me that partnerships, collaboration, and community is the key to social impact. Spring to Action celebrates all of that, and it's actually a perfect example of how together we are stronger.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Together we are stronger. And that's so true. The city of Alexandria is so representative of that. So thank you so much, Giselle, for being here
Yes.
today.
Thank you, Grace. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And we will see you at Spring to Action.
Yes. See you then, April 28th.
All right, guys. This has been Grace with ZTV Live.